We ready on priest?
Defense is ready, Your Honor.
Patricia, do we have the papers?
They're just gonna print them as soon as you sign them, Judge.
Okay,
Did you sign them? Sign them and send them to her?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll go check.
No, at
and
least
then-
what was sent to me, I did. No, it might be that we're missing something.
I'm gonna check with Linda.
Okay, thank you. I'm still getting papers on Navarro, on the West.
On the phone.
Yeah, I know, Lisa, that's why I just signed it again. Yes, I'm taking him Navarro. Here's Navarro.
Thank you. Patty, are we all set on priest? Mr. Priest, tell me basically what the plea is going to be.
I believe it. My client currently resides in Louisiana, Judge. This case, he's never resided in San Antonio. This case occurred as he was passing through San Antonio. He is currently in Louisiana right now. It is 10 days. My understanding is it should be a judgment satisfied.
And it'll be a no contest.
I believe the state wanted him to plead guilty, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Court Reporter, Ms. Mendez,
I'm not
Ms. Mendez, you're muted in case Yvette Mendez. Ms. Court Reporter, Yvette Mendez. Anybody know where my court reporter is?
I'm right here, Judge. I was editing on the other side of the office. I'm ready to roll.
All right, court calls case number 628676, State versus Jared Mintz. Mr. Mintz, would you identify yourself?
Hey, present right here.
All right, Mr. Mintz, would you raise your right hand? You solemnly swear that in this proceeding, the information and responses you submit will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
All right, Mr. Mintz, before we do anything, I need you to know that there's some significant rights and protections that are granted to you that are involved in this matter. First of all, the right to remain silent. You can put your hand down, I'm sorry.
Cool.
You do not have to say anything. You do not have to answer any questions. You do not have to submit written paperwork. You understand you have that right.
Understood.
You have the right to a jury trial. 6 people selected at random by you and your attorney and the state to hear the evidence and testimony, et cetera, and decide whether you've been proven guilty beyond reasonable doubt or not. That's a right to a jury trial. You understand you have that right.
Yes, sir.
You have the right to confront witnesses. That means if you go to trial, anyone who testifies, you and your attorney can cross-examine, question, or challenge. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have the right to an appeal. That means you, yourself, or your attorney, or the two of you have the right to demand that a higher court review the official record in this case, which is being prepared by the court reporter. Review it for whatever challenge you wanted to make. You'd have to follow the rules, the right documents, and the time limits. You understand you have that right.
Yes, sir.
You also have the right to demand that this matter be heard in an open public courtroom here in San Antonio, Bexar County, Texas. You have that right, but it's not being granted right now because of the COVID pandemic. Instead, we're doing it, as you can see, by computer. It's called a video conference. You have to approve or agree to that. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, you understand those rights that I have read to you or talked to you about?
Yes.
And did you discuss them with your attorney?
Yes, we just spoke in the breakout conference a few minutes ago.
Okay. Did you review the papers that you signed and that the state signed their own, because they have the right to demand a public hearing in the open courtroom? Did you review those and sign them?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
All right. And did you see that the state signed their own?
Yes.
Excuse me. Mr. Priest, is it your opinion that the state has complied with Article 39.14 and that they have provided to you all the discovery necessary for you to make a informed and intelligent decision with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. Mr. Mintz, did you also see and review the paperwork that talks about your rights, talks about how you're going to plead, and did you see that there's that one document that's broken up into 15 numbered parts?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you understand it?
Yes.
You have any questions about it?
No, sir.
And you did sign it.
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
All right. Now, you also had a document called a plea agreement. Which of the prosecutors is handling this?
I am, Your Honor.
Ms. Morgan or Ms. Pollard?
Caitlin, Your Honor, Ms. Morgan.
Okay. Ms. Morgan, tell me about what the agreement is. And Mr. Mintz, I want you to hear, and I'm going to ask you whether you agree with that or not.
Yes, Your Honor, it says $0 fine, court costs, 10 days Bexar County Jail, credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent, and the state asks that this satisfy the judgment.
All right, 0 fine. Court costs. Then what?
10 days. Yes, sir.
Okay. Bexar County Jail. Anything else?
Credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent, and we ask that it satisfy the judgment.
All right. And the actual plea is plea of guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Mintz, you understand what you're charged with, burglary of a vehicle?
Yes, I do.
to that charge, sir, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Did anyone threaten you, intimidate you, or promise you anything other than the plea agreement in exchange for your pleading guilty?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Then I accept your plea of guilty. I find you guilty. In accordance with the agreement that you made with the state, I honor that agreement. You have $0 fine, court costs. You have 10 days, you're sentenced to 10 days Bexar County Jail. Credit for time served, time and money run concurrent. I find that you have satisfied this judgment, and therefore you owe nothing further to the state of Texas or this court on this individual charge. Any questions, Mr. Mintz?
No, sir. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Any questions, Mr. Reese, Priest, pardon me?
No, Your Honor.
State? Any questions from state?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
All right, then this matter is concluded. Mr. Priest, the court certainly appreciates your patience today. We just had a hellacious docket.
I
I do
understand.
appreciate it. Thank
Not a
you.
problem.
You are excused.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Mintz, stay out of trouble, sir.
Thank you, sir. Am I excused as well?
You are excused. Yes, sir.
Good luck, Jared.
All right. Thank you, Priest.
All right, at this time, the court calls case number 664117, State versus Crystal Navarro. Are you Crystal Navarro?
I'm coming, Your Honor.
Hope so.
I'm in court, Your Honor, with Judge Alonso.
Yes, ma'am, I see you.
Oh, sorry.
Are you Crystal Navarro?
Yes,
Please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear that in this proceeding, the information and responses you submit will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you may put your hand down. Was this on the docket, Patty? I know it was.
Yes, sir.
664117.
Page 10.
There it is. All right. Ms. Navarro, you were charged with the offense of driving while intoxicated. Before we go further on this proceeding, it's my understanding that you made an agreement that Judge Alonso has negotiated for you. And I need you to know that there are some very important rights and protections that you have. First of all, you have the right to remain silent. Secondly, that means that you do not have to make any kind of statement. You don't have to answer questions. You don't have to submit papers that you've signed, especially if the papers confess or admit to wrongdoing. You understand you have the right to remain silent.
I understand, yes.
Did I swear her?
She didn't swear you in.
Did I?
Yes, you swore me in, Your Honor. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. You also have the right to a jury trial. That means you and Judge Alonso and the state could select 6 people from a pool of random people to hear the evidence and testimony and materials and decide whether the state has proven you guilty beyond reasonable doubt. You understand you have that right?
I understand.
You have the right to confront witnesses. That means if you went to trial, there'd be testimony, people testifying. You and the judge could cross-examine, question, or challenge any witness. That's called the right to confront witnesses. You understand that?
I understand.
You have the right to appeal. That means you, yourself, or the judge himself, or the two of you together could demand a higher court review the official record and the evidence for whatever challenge you wanted to make. You have to follow rules, the right documents, and the time limits. You understand you have the right to appeal.
Yes, Your Honor.
You also have the right to have this matter held in a full public courtroom. Now, I understand you're in the public courtroom, but it is not in the sense that it is a public courtroom hearing wherein the judges and the witnesses and everybody else are present. You understand you have the right to demand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Those rights you will be giving up in this plea, in this proceeding. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any question about that?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Now, you also have that right to hold this in a public courtroom. The state does too. You notice the prosecutors are not in there in the courtroom. They have the right to demand that this be done in the courtroom. And there are paperwork that talks about all this. Since you have the right to demand that this be done in a public courtroom, there's documents that you signed and also that the state signed their own that give consent, that agree to do this as we're doing by computer. Do you understand that?
I understand.
Okay. Did you see that document? Did you sign it?
I did, Your Honor.
All right. There's also a document. Judge Alonso, are you satisfied that the state has complied with Article 39.14 in that they have provided you full discovery so that you can make a informed decision with your client?
Yes, they have, Your Honor.
All right. There's documents that include a document wherein I certify to you that you do not have a right of appeal because you've done a plea bargain. Did you understand that, Ms. Navarro?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. There's a document called the Defendant's Waiver of Constitutional Rights and Court's Admonitions. Did you and the judge review that? It's a couple of pages. It's got 15 marked parts, including things that repeat the rights we have talked about. Did you review that document with your attorney and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, it's my understanding that the judge has gotten you an agreement for what's called deferred adjudication. Deferred adjudication is a special kind of probation that even though you're going to enter a plea that can be taken as a guilty plea, I'm not going to find you guilty. That's part of the deal the judge made for you. If you do everything you're supposed to, 100% of the conditions of supervision, then this case will be dismissed. And I'm talking about the case that we're actually going to do. Does the state have a motion on the original charge of DWI?
Yes, Judge. The state moves to waive and abandon count 1 and proceed solely on count 2, obstruction of a highway.
Any objection, Judge?
No objections, Your Honor.
There being no objection, then I grant that motion. Ms. Navarro, you're no longer charged with DWI. You're now charged with obstruction of a passageway, highway, or waterway. It is a lesser type of charge because it's no longer in the DWI category. Now, also, the deferred adjudication, if you have to live up to 100% of the conditions, those will be read to you. You will sign them. They'll put a copy in your hands. If you live up to all the conditions, then the case, even the obstruction gets dismissed and you don't have a conviction under Texas law. If you mess it up, if you violate the conditions, if you fail or refuse to live up to your obligations, the conditions of supervision, then what happens is the state will ask me to bring you in after official hearing, and we can have a hearing. And if you really messed up, the evidence supports it, then I can put in a final conviction that'll follow you the rest of your life. Is that clear?
Yes, Your Honor.
If that happens, then you're looking at the full range of punishment, which is a fine anywhere from $0 to $2,000, in jail 0 days to 180 days. You understand that?
I do, Your Honor.
All right. Now, the application for deferred adjudication, did you go over that with the judge?
Yes, sir, I did.
Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. The court approves the motion to reduce, and it is so noted in the file, to the charge of obstruction of a passageway, waterway, or highway, ma'am. How do you plead?
No contest.
Did anyone threaten you, intimidate you, or promise you anything other than this agreement in exchange for the plea of no contest?
No, Your Honor.
All right. The court accepts your plea of no contest. I find that there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, I do not find you guilty. Instead, I am granting you the deferred adjudication. What are the specifics of the deferred?
Judge, the agreement here is a $500 fine plus court costs, 12 months deferred adjudication, DWI education, victim impact panel, TAP evaluation, a Smart Start mobile for 6 months, 48 community service hours, and a $50 Crime Stoppers fee.
I'm sorry to do this to you, but I need you to repeat all of that slowly. $500 fine,
A $500 fine plus court costs,
court costs,
12 months
12 months deferred,
the DWI education,
right,
victim impact panel,
right.
the TAP evaluation,
Mhm.
the Smart Start mobile for 6 months,
Okay,
48 community service hours,
right.
and a $50 Crime Stoppers fee.
All right. Now, excuse me, Ms. Navarro, how are you employed, ma'am?
I work at a magazine publication.
And what do you earn monthly?
I earn around 3,500, I believe.
Per month?
I believe so.
Okay,
No, Your Honor, about 3,000.
there's a bit of a difference there.
Yes, I'm trying to do fast math. It didn't go as
Okay, now, do you have children you support?
No, sir, I don't.
All right. So do you have any other major responsibilities or liability?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Then the court assesses a fine of $500 plus court costs. You're granted 12 months deferred adjudication. You'll complete the DWI education program, the victim impact panel. You'll submit to a TAP evaluation. You'll have the Smart Start mobile installed for 6 months. You'll have to complete 48 hours of community service restitution. You'll pay a one-time $60 Crime Stoppers fee. Your supervisory fee will be $34 a month. Now you're ordered to appear in county, you might even do it right now, County Court of Law number 5, so that you can have your thumbprint placed on the documents that are required by law. I want you to confer with Maricela Luna. She is what's called a court liaison officer. She will explain to you how to get everything going and get you into the deferred program, the probation system. Is that understood?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Any questions, Ms. Navarro?
No.
Judge, if the court please, I'd like to address a couple of issues.
All right, sir.
Okay, number one, concerning the Smart Start device, I talked to the prosecutor on that in lieu of the interlock. However, the plea bargain paperwork did not allow my client to process that unless she signed an affidavit of no driving. And we'd like the court to waive that. She's never been arrested before. This is the first time. And about 1/3 of the people that get arrested with DWI, it will never happen again because of the therapy of putting that DWI jewelry in the hand. And I think my client has been very remorseful. She spent about 24 hours in jail. And if the court would please let her, or I don't think the state told me that they would not object to her not signing the 6-month or not driving affidavit. I believe I'm correct if Ms. Catherine Pollard, I think, would agree to that. I think that's what she represented to me. And then the second thing, if she could be allowed to donate to a nonprofit on her in waiving the community service hours. Anyone that the court chooses, the nonprofit, or the court considered Therapeutic Justice Foundation or whichever foundation. But the most important thing that my client would agree, Judge, that if she doesn't have to sign that affidavit or no driving, because she needs to drive to keep her job. If she doesn't drive, she's not going to have a job. And also the state agreed with me, and I'd like to commend Catherine Pollard for her professionalism and her patience with me in dealing with this case, because she was very patient, but we reached an agreement and we'd like the court to entertain my request.
All right. I've made note of your requests. I'll be right with you. Hang in there. All right. I have noted these matters on the file. I have signed it. Be sure and do the fingerprint, the thumbprint thing. That'll conclude this particular hearing. Thank you. All right, anybody else? Mr. Hayek, I know you've been waiting. Mr. Bean, where are you at? What's going on with you?
I'm still here, sir, Your Honor.
I'm still here, Judge.
All right, what do you need? Talk to me.
The plea paperwork should be ready.
Who's got them? Let's see. I probably have some of them, I bet you. Let's see. Let's see. This is, what's your case number, Anton? Let's see, Navarro. Mintz. I got that.
664140.
664.
140.
I don't see it in my stuff here. Okay, Patty, do we have his papers? I don't see them in my stack here. 664. Maybe they're already over there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Patricia?
Do you remember signing everything, Mr. Hayek?
That's what I'm checking
Patty
right
and
now.
Judge, Caitlin said that she hasn't sent this paperwork because she doesn't have the defendant's email address.
Okay. That
I
is
sent it to her.
Okay.
And I put it in chat, I think. Yeah, because I put it in chat because I couldn't get to Caitlin only. This is Bean.